What's going on, guys? It's Rest, and in today's video I wanted to go over a build from Raw that's going to let you get through the new Guardian Takedown easily. A lot of people wanted to see a video like this. This build is very similar to my Hyperion Cat build, so if you didn't watch the video, I will link it in the top right corner right now if you want to check that out. This build is essentially that, but tweaked a little bit, and it's using weapons that can absolutely tear through the Takedown. If you don't know, even after the scaling, the Takedown can be kind of difficult to do for some people, but hopefully this build will let you conquer that. As always, my builds are located in my Discord channel if you would like to download them. The link for the Discord will be in the description, and if you download the build, enjoy the video, or find it helpful in any way, remember to drop a like and subscribe to the channel because it really helps me out and I truly appreciate it. Well, with all that being said, let's get right into the build. Alright, so from the intro of this video, you probably already knew what we were going to be running, and that is of course Monarchs and a Recursion. Right here I have a Shock Monarch. We're on Axis Skeleton. We get 100% more damage for a short time. This is very, very good. Obviously in the Guardian Takedown there's a lot of shields, and this is just going to tear through all the shielded enemies. The Monarch is an absolutely insane weapon. It does so much damage. It is by far the best single target damage in the weapon in the game right now, and it can get you through so much in the new Takedown. But then next I have a Corrosive one. This is actually a ×8 one with consecutive hits, increased damage by 1%. If you don't know, applying status effects actually affect this 1% as well. So on Amara, you're going to be applying status effects a good amount. Plus, shooting 8 pellets at once is going to keep stacking that, and we're going to be stacking a lot of damage up. I honestly would say Corrosion, for me, when I'd play the Takedown, is more of a problem than Shock, and this Monarch right here just shreds through all the armor in the game, and it is absolutely disgusting. But then I have a Recursion right here. On Axis Skeleton, the next two magazines do 100% bonus shock damage. This is really, really good for ad clear. As you see, it does cryo and shock, so we can swap between armor and shields. This, literally, when enemies come out the portal, you can shoot this and it's just going to ricochet everywhere, and you can just kill everything. It not only just destroys everything, it has very good ammo consumption since it is a one-shot one, and you don't really run out of ammo for it. It is by far the best ad clearing weapon for the Guardian Takedown. When you're in the boss fights, you can literally just shoot this and everything dies, and then you can focus on the boss. It is really, really good. Then I have a Hyper Focus right here. The Hyper Focus isn't bad, but as you see on Axis Skeleton, weapon damage gets 100% for a short time. It's not going to do as well as the Monarchs. If you want to take like an Incendiary Monarch, you can. This is just good if you run out of ammo for the Monarchs. You can use this to proc your Sustainment. You can just easily swap to it really quick, and the bullets also ricochet and kill people too, which is really good. I would definitely not sleep on the Hyper Focus because it is pretty good for taking out bosses. It's obviously not going to be as good as the Monarch, but it does do work, and it can keep you alive with Sustainment. But then next, I have a Old God right here, where on Axis we get 50% bonus corrosive damage, and the Old God inherently just gives you bonus damage to whatever the element resists, so we're getting plus 20% corrosive damage. As you see, I have 3 other shields right here as well. It's going for armor since I have cryo, and then for shields I have radiation and shock if you ever want to swap them out, whatever you need. Personally, I just want corrosive all the time when I do the Takedown. Then I have It's Piss right here with shock, because having corrosive and shock is going to be really good for the Takedown, because that's pretty much what every enemy is, except in some of the parts where you get to the areas there's some incendiary enemies. But as you see, just like the shields, I have cryo, corrosive, and radiation if you just want to swap them out to whatever you want in the Takedown, and you will be set for that. Then I have a Phase Zerker right here. If you don't know what the Phase Zerker does, essentially you use your Phase Grass, you get max rust stacks, and those max rust stacks also give you more damage and more cooldown rate, plus you also get 5 additional rust stacks. Now this one has 31% splash damage, 35% actual cooldown rate, and 61% weapon charge speed. All these are really, really good. The cooldown rate is going to be really good because that means we don't have to take some of our skills. The splash damage and charge speed is going to work really well for the Recursion. It's buffing the Recursion like crazy. You can just keep spamming the shots, and the splash damage is actually buffing the damage this as well. And it's just going to keep killing everything. You're going to keep having shots going out to keep proccing Sustainment, and you just don't die, and everything else dies. It is really, really good. But then for the artifact, I have Pearl of Enough Knowledge. Very, very good. 12% fire rate, 50% more magazine size. This is just a solid damage boost. Literally just shooting an enemy gives you more damage. It works really well compared with this Monarch, because obviously this consecutive hits gives you more damage. So between this Anointment and then this artifact, you're going to just be spraying these ×8 bullets and just stacking the damage up. Once you get lower to the end of the magazine, you start taking down chunks of health on the bosses. It's really, really good. But then, as you see over here, I have one more artifact. This is actually a cut purse launch pad. This is actually really good for the takedown. If you don't know, the cut purse refills your ammo whenever you get a melee hit, and then the launch pad slam launches a barrage of homing rockets. The reason this is so good is those homing rockets actually regen your ammo. You don't have to get a melee hit. Obviously, you meleeing people, you still get the ammo back. But with this, if you slam, the rockets are going to regen your ammo. And if you don't know, in the Guardian right now, you can use the Come On and Slam perk. So at peak height, you can slam, which is really good. So now you can just jump up, slam, all your rockets will go out, and you're going to refill all your ammo for something like your Monarchs to just keep slaying. And since it's only one, it's very easy to switch out. All you got to do is just click and boom. Now get ammo and then swap back to Pearl of Ineffable Knowledge. It is really good to have this. So getting into the skills, as I said in the beginning of the video, it is similar to my Hyperion cat build. It is a little changed up, but we'll get into that. So 5 points in Anima, so we can buff our status effect damage, duration, and action skill effect damage. This is really good. We're going to be using shock, so we're buffing our shock damage even more to keep taking out the Guardians a lot. And with Anima, status effect's going to last longer, which in return is going to buff Harmageddon. So every time we apply a status effect, we're getting more damage to that enemy, so we're always going to have that damage boost. Then 3 points steady hand, so we get more handling and accuracy. This is really good for something like the Monarch, because obviously the Monarch is like basically a assault rifle shotgun, and yeah, the handling and accuracy is going to help out a lot with that. But then 1 point infusion, so we can buff our projectiles. Essentially, this goes another instance of a projectile. So on things like the recursion, you're going to have recursion discs just going everywhere and killing everything. But then 5 points in Tempest, so we can buff our elemental damage by 30%, shock damage by 20%, which is really good. Then 1 point Dread, so we can buff our gun damage by 15% when we phase grasp an enemy. And then also, if we kill that phase grasp enemy, the gun is instantly reloaded. This is also really good. You're on a phase grasp enemy, you can just go to town on something like the Monarch. Then 1 point deep water, 20% more magazine size for elemental weapons. Again, all our weapons are element, so more magazine size, which is really good. 3 points indiscriminate, so all our bullets can ricochet. This is actually insane in the new takedown. The bosses are huge, and you can easily see all the bullets ricocheting off. It is actually kind of crazy, the amount of just particles on your screen, I guess. Bullets are just going everywhere. The recursions are just going everywhere. Indiscriminate makes this takedown much easier than it normally is without it. But then I actually have 1 point in Catharsis right here, so I get down to the bottom. If you don't know what this does, essentially when an enemy dies with whatever elements on them, they explode. It's not the greatest, but you got to get down to the bottom. Then 5 points in Sustainment, so 20% of our elemental gun damage is going to come back to us as health, which is insane. The amount of damage we're going to be doing with all of these weapons right here is disgusting, and we're always going to have max health. Then finally 1 point Forceful Expression, so we get an extra 18% of damage based on whatever the damage we're already doing. And since this is based on your axe element, we're going to use a shock, which is really good because shock's going to help take down the Guardians a lot. And this also adds another instance to projectiles on things like the recursion, so it can ricochet even more shots, and also on things like the hyper focus as well. Then 3 points of personal space, so we can get 36% more damage the closer you are to an enemy. Obviously the Monarch is essentially a shotgun, so we're going to be very close to the enemy and straight up destroying them. It's funny that the recursion is a shotgun, and that's more of your long range weapon, but the AR is more of your close range weapon. I guess that's just Borderlands for you. But this skill right here actually does work pretty much most of the time. The range on this is huge, so you're pretty much always going to get this benefit, and for 3 points it is a no-brainer to take. Then finally, in the last skill tree, I have 5 points and do harm, so we can buff our action skill damage. If you don't know, this actually does work with Ties Divine, which we're going to be taking. So this is going to give you more damage based on the amount of rush attacks you have. So all the chain targets are going to take a lot more damage, and things like the recursion is just going to straight up ricochet and just one-shot everybody. It's really good. But then 3 points of fast hands, so we get more reload speed, weapon slot speed, and motion speed. All these are really good. Weapon slot speed, obviously if you're swapping between corrosive and shock. Motion speed, so you can keep pulling out the bipod in and out, which is really good. And then reload speed is always nice for any build. 1 point in Valiant Tapestry, so we can keep our rush stacks up to have all our benefits keep coming along. 3 points in Alacrity, so you can buff our load speed even further, which is really good because on things like this Corrosive Monarch, you spray through bullets really quick. Having that reload speed is nice to get back into the fight. But then 3 points Transcendence, so every time you use accuracy, we get bonus accuracy and critical damage. Another accuracy bonus for the Monarch it's insane. You're going to be able to just have this tight spread, destroying people, and the critical damage is obviously very nice because critical damage is always good. Then 1 point in Sentence, so we can buff our action skill augment, and we're going to be running Soul Sap. This is because this actually does not to take away damage from your action skill, and you need all the damage you can get in this takedown, because even after the scaling, the enemies are still kind of tanky. They're not as tanky as they used to be, but Soul Sap is also going to heal you in return. So when you kill an enemy in your phase grass, you're going to get health back, which is really good. On top of Sustainment, you should be able to live throughout this whole takedown without dying. But talking about the damage thing, as you see in Stillness of Mind, this gives you minus 25% damage, and then on Allure you get minus 20% damage. This actually does affect the damage that Do Harm is doing, so I would definitely not recommend taking this for the takedown. Any other aspect of the game is pretty fun, but for this takedown, you need as much damage as you can get. And because of that, we're also putting 3 points in Late Bear, so we get 25% more damage to whatever targets that are linked, which is really good. Then 3 points in Wrath, so we get 20% more gun damage, and then even more actual using axe skill. Again, another very good skill to have. Then 3 points in Awakening, so we can buff our rush stack effectiveness. Essentially, we're just trying to make Do Harm do even more damage, so we can just kill things a lot easier. Then 1 point Avatar, so we get 10 more rush stacks, and we can pop axe skill twice for cooldown. The 10 more rush stacks is in return going to give us more reload speed, more damage, more status effect chance, more cooldown rate, even more damage with the Phase Zerker, and you can pop your axe skill twice, which is obviously very good in itself. So you can keep ad clearing a lot with Ties That Bind right here, and you can absolutely destroy all the ads on the battlefield. So from mobbing to bossing, this build has it all. With Ties That Bind and things like the recursion and all your skills, you're going to be able to just destroy all the ads. Then when you get to bosses, the Monarchs are going to straight up tank their health down and just wreak havoc on everything. You can also use the Monarch for single target damage as well if you're just trying to take down a tankier enemy. Be sure to keep mind of that. And then if you're having a dodge situation, you can swap to the Hyper Focus to keep your sustainment up so you don't die and have to restart. So this takedown is a lot different than the Molly one takedown. You can't really just simply have the best build in the game and fly through this immediately. So don't expect to play this and get like 5-minute clear times, because it's just not possible unless you're, skipping the game, which I know some people don't like to do. But if you're going completely through it, like I said, don't expect 5 to 10-minute clear times. You can expect lower clear times for things like 20 to 30 minutes maybe, but this build will get you through it with ease, and you do not have to struggle. Like I said in the beginning of the video, these builds are located in my Discord channel if you would like to download them. The link for the Discord is in the description. And if you download the build and enjoyed the video, find it helpful in any way, remember to drop a like and be sure to subscribe to the channel. It really helps me out, and I truly appreciate it. But that's going to do all for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Peace.